Welcome back to Off the Record, a radio playlist where I help you discover new artists and new music. I'm here with Justin Koolik, rising indie folk pop artist who just released his debut EP, Less and Less. Justin, how are you doing today?
How are we doing? Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Just became an uncle.
I
So
love
I'm really
it.
excited. So I just saw the baby for the first time, but home right now in Florida, but I live in Nashville.
What is going to be like the first song when he's old enough to like listen to music that you're like, this is what I'm going to put you on?
Honestly, it could be Noah Khan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In 5 years, I don't know what
will be the moment? What will be the vibe? Well, I'm super excited to talk to you because, you know, your journey as an artist is very fun, very interesting, and just like your process as in general is really cool. I'm really curious who your music influences were growing up, and not so much like the artists you were discovering. I always like to lean into this question of like who around you was playing music and what were they making. And I think for you, this question for me is interesting because your brother is one of your producers. He creates music as well. So I'm really curious about the synergy of all that.
Yeah, growing up, it was really just me and my brother that played music. I have an older sister who doesn't play music at all. My brother started playing piano first and taking piano lessons, and I was looking for something extracurricular to do around 4th or 5th grade. And we kind of had like a friendly brother competition. And so I wasn't allowed to play piano, so I played guitar. And anytime we would get in a fight in the house, I'd start banging on the piano. He would go in my room, start strumming my guitar. That's how we would like get back at each other. But it was really just the two of us, and we don't know where it came from, like why me and my brother love it so much. But that's kind of how it evolved.
Do you remember what the first song you learned on guitar was? I always love asking this question.
That's a good question. Not the first one, but one I really loved playing for some reason. It's a great song, but I just like was hooked on it. It was Let It Be by the Beatles.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Little Paul McCartney moment.
I have a lot of funny videos of me as a kid playing. I can send those to you.
It's like the growing up was the Beatles like your thing?
No, I just love that. I loved like Hallelujah. I would go on like Ultimate Guitar and search up like the most popular songs.
Yeah.
That's like where you can find chords. And those were always like on the top. So I would just learn them. They were the easiest.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your journey to becoming an artist because, you know, this is the debut EP. You've already had a lot of traction, which is really cool.
Yeah.
How did we get to where we are now?
So I had always played music growing up, but I never took it very seriously. My sophomore year of high school, I was in a wheelchair because I have arthritis. And I used to grow up playing sports. I played lacrosse, basketball, and in high school, my sophomore year, I couldn't play. And so that's when I kind of started leaning a little more into music, taking it a little more seriously. And then started posting a little on TikTok, but nothing major. Never put any music out. And then when I got to college, I went to Vanderbilt. I graduated last year. I studied finance, but I didn't really do much with music. I kind of did it casually. And then it was after I did an internship last summer in finance that I was like, whoa, like this could, you know, like if I don't take the shot for the dream now,
yeah,
it's not going to happen ever. And so I graduated a semester early and I had 6 months in Nashville, still like in college, living in the same house. But no classes. And I was like, okay, I could either work at a coffee shop. I could either, you know, started posting, fell in love with it, saw some traction and got some love from, you know, online. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So I called the bank. What was this? Not even a year ago. And told them I wasn't coming. And they were like, what are you talking about? You're not coming. And it was a job I had worked for 2 years to try and get. I got it my sophomore year of college. And it was like such a long and grueling process. And so making like actually giving it up was really hard because like I worked so hard for this.
And where was that job going to be based out of?
New York City.
Okay. So you ended up not going to New York at all. You just stayed in Nashville.
Yeah. So all my friends moved to New York City where I was supposed to be. And I stayed in Nashville by myself. I was like, I'll see you guys at some point.
Wow. That's wild.
I know. I can't believe it.
How was it? Did you approach your brother about like working together? Like how did that kind of come to play?
So my brother's 4 years older than me. He's signed to Champagne Music Therapy as a writer and producer.
Okay.
He does a lot of K-pop. He went to Vanderbilt too, and he lived in Nashville 2 years after college, so my freshman and sophomore year.
Okay.
And then he moved to LA once he got this deal. And we had never really like seriously collaborated in music. And then it wasn't only till I really started like after I put out I'd Rather Grieve, my second song, we were home together and we were in his room and we wrote Love Remains. And we're like, wait, this is kind of good. And we put it on submitted it for Tiny Desk NPR. And we got a shout out, like we got a standout. They gave 10 standouts, and Love Remains was one of them. And we looked at each other and we're like, maybe we can write good songs.
That's so cool.
So then I flew to LA. He started coming to Nashville, and then he just sees my dedication to like my content, my posting. He sees that I work really hard, and he's like, maybe he's not just my brother. Maybe he can be, like, so now
what is that dynamic working with your sibling like? Because my sister and I, we work together on Off the Record, and so sometimes we have to be like, okay, family here, off the record time here. How has that been, especially in that intimate creative process?
Yeah, so my family is in a family business of real estate, and so like that whole concept of like family and work has always been a thing. Like it's at the dinner table, it's everywhere. And so working with my brother, it's really great because when I write with people in Nashville, and there's so many talented writers and just insanely talented writers, but it's a little different when you write with your brother because you don't have to sugarcoat anything at all, which feels really good. And I feel like we get places much faster, and I actually like will leave the room and he will too, being like, okay, that's really good. Or like, I'll never leave with like a feeling like, oh, I should have said this. If he says something that's bad, I'm like, what are you saying? And he'll say the same exact thing to me. And I think it's really healthy. And I love that. So we can like bang out literally 2 songs in one day.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That you guys are able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the EP, Less and Less. What was the inspiration behind it, and what are you hoping like audiences take away from it?
Yeah, Less and Less. I guess I will talk about the girl, whatever. Basically, I studied abroad in Australia, and I met a girl who I wanted to do long distance with.
Okay. Australia and the US.
She's not Australian though.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I wanted to do long distance after the abroad program because she lived in New York and I was in Florida.
Okay.
And she didn't think it was the right thing to do. And looking back, I agree. But I was a little bummed out. And so I wrote Where You Are. And Where You Are is kind of like, whenever I go to New York, I think of her. And the whole idea is like, when you start with Have a Smoke is like the most raw and stripped down song. And as it evolves, it goes like Have a Smoke is like desperate, all the way to Say Something is like the most desperation.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turns to like almost a little bit of anger and just like, maybe I don't care as much anymore. And so Can't Have Me Like That finishes with like, wait, you can't have me like that, right? Like, it's like you're setting these boundaries. Like that's kind of the idea. And so Less and Less is just like, I miss you less and less. And so I'm going to make merch that says like, I miss you less and less.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are you hoping folks take away from the project as a whole?
I think this is my first project that I am starting to understand my sound and just feel confident showing to people. So I think I want people to know that this is a good representation of, me. And I want people to know that over time things do get better.
Yeah.
And, nothing, no feeling or emotion is permanent. Everything's temporary. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, everything's fleeting.
Yeah.
And so I've come to feel that over this experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for my favorite question. I asked you to bring 3 songs from 3 other artists you want to share with us, and feel free to elaborate a little bit on why you chose these songs.
One, I would say Your Place at My Place, Joshua
Okay.
Sloan. Joshua Sloan is just, he's been on the come up, and I've never seen anything like it. And he's someone, I haven't even met him, but I'm like really happy for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's opening for Zach Bryan. It's just like, he seems like a really genuine artist, and he just is himself. And that album, that project is ridiculous. Second song, I would say Dylan Brady. Dylan Brady, let me see. You're Leaving, Aren't You?
Okay.
He just released an album called Gradual. Such an amazing project as well. I just think he's incredible artist. It's called You're Leaving, Aren't You? And then those are 2 a little more niche, and I would say Noah Kahan, Homesick. I love that song so much. Noah Kahan's a big inspiration for me, but I'm really excited for his album.
I know. We're getting close to more details.
It's pretty crazy.
Soon. That's a stacked little lineup you got right there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming, chatting with me. Again, the debut EP, Less and Less, incredible. And I hope everyone enjoys Where You Are.
Thank you so much.
Off the Record, where I help you discover new artists and new music. I'm super excited because I'm here with Beach Daze, who's releasing a new album this Friday. Too Many Times, one of those perfect coastal indie albums. Beach Daze, how you doing today?
I'm great, Isaiah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to chat with you a little bit. We were just getting into it right now, but let's talk a little bit about your upbringing. Who were your musical influences, and like what were they playing for you?
Okay. Well, I'm from a town called Brick, which is based out of the New Jersey shore. It's around like 15 minutes from Seaside Heights, like where the Jersey Shore show was.
Yep.
First thing that everybody brings up when I tell them that. But growing up around that area definitely influenced the way I got started and my songwriting process early on in my teenage years. Growing up, music was always a huge part of the house. My parents, not musicians, but they used to play all different kinds of music growing up. My dad was more into like the alternative music, like Radiohead.
Oh, wow.
Like Deftones, The Cure, like bands like that. A lot of like 90s, 80s alternative. A lot of new wave stuff too, like Joy Division, New Order, Duran Duran, just things like that. The Police. I mean, I could keep going on all day, but like, you know what I'm talking about, like bands around that. And my mom was more into like mainstream pop music at the time, which was like Coldplay, Rihanna, Jay-Z, things like that. I mean, I don't listen to Rihanna now, but I remember listening to stuff early on. It's like, still stuck in my head for some reason. But yeah, always, I just always was very into music from an early age. And by the time I got to probably about 4 or 5 years old was when I started taking drum lessons, which is my main instrument. I'm primarily a drummer.
So how many instruments do you play?
I started playing drums when I was 4 or 5, started taking drum lessons at a couple music schools down where I live. And as I got into my teens, I started to teach myself bass guitar, guitar, keys. I can sing okay. I only sing playing live or when I'm recording music. But I think accumulation of all of that, just learning primarily self-taught, minus the exception of drum lessons, eventually and inevitably led to me starting to write my own songs and releasing them.
Well, that's a great segue into what I want to ask you next. Is like I mentioned, the best way to describe you and your sound, it's like indie and coastal. Those are the 2 perfect words for it. Where are you pulling a lot of your inspiration from when putting together your music right now?
Is this right just in general or just for?
Yeah, just for this album in particular.
I think I think a lot of the energy that I primarily get is from the area that I grew up in. I'm personally an avid beach goer. I worked as a lifeguard past 4 summers. You know, I enjoy going surfing and skimboarding, like all those water sport hobbies. You know, my friends and I used to hang out a lot up there, just day and night, things like that. Just being around that area constantly, I think, plays a huge part into, for me personally, how I come up with stuff. Because now being away at college, which we can get into for this project too, being away from that area sort of changes how I write stuff. I notice environment plays a huge part into it, but I think maybe those feelings of like you know, being young and like at that Jersey Shore area certainly influenced things in the beginning, especially with like those first 2 albums that I released with like Broken Together and Beach Daze. Like, you know, songs that they're not about going to the beach or summer, but they have, I guess, like you said, they have that indie coastal vibe that you were talking about. So a lot of what I pull comes from myself mostly, and like
that's great.
Environment always plays a huge part into it, and just what's going on in life in general. You know, like teenage years are very formulative. There's like a lot that happens from like 14 to 20, which is like when I started and where I'm at now. So it's like it's just a crazy roller coaster of,
and it's fun because we'll constantly see that evolvement in any, not just yours, but any artist's music, which is super fun. Is like you said, it's for the time, it's what you're writing about, and it's gonna be fun to see how it transitions as you get into those mid and later 20s. And
right, not there yet, but I'm sure, you know, I'm sure I'll feel that when I get there.
yeah. What are you hoping folks take away from this new album?
I think what I want people to take away from it is, I don't think it's like a sound of what's to come, but it's definitely in a more different direction, I think, compared to the previous releases. I think a big part of that was just changing up my routine. I remember like, you know, I think a lot of artists or anyone that creates anything can relate to getting stuck in a sort of formula routine, subconsciously, from, you know, years and years of doing the same thing, not same thing, but just, you know, getting caught in that. And sometimes I remember feeling like this. I it felt like it kind of ran dry for a little bit. But you gotta change up. Just, I think it helps to change your routine and your approach, and, you know, try new sounds and textures and things like that. Like a lot of the songs on the new album are in like, I'm do you play guitar?
I don't, which it surprises a lot of people.
Yeah. I thought maybe you knew, but well, like a lot of the songs on Too Many Times are in a different guitar tuning. So it's just like little things like that, which I didn't really start getting into until I started working on that. But it's little stuff like that that can draw your inspiration back. And it also just like kind of forces you to come up with new ideas creatively. I think it was like a more of a challenge in a way. So my biggest thing that I want people to take away from that is like, one, you know, like this too shall pass, and two, just to, you know, just try new things, just to switch it up, you know, keeps your creative battery refreshed.
Exactly. Well, it's time for my favorite question. I asked you to bring 3 songs from 3 other artists. Feel free to elaborate a little bit on why you chose these songs.
Ooh, okay. I have to go. I'm gonna go on my Spotify playlist and see what I got, because I have a fall playlist of songs that I have been getting into. Let me see. Okay, my first pick would be a song by this artist I just found like a couple weeks ago. His name's Don West, kind of like a soul vibe, but his song "Small Change," Small Change, it will definitely be in my Spotify Wrapped this year. I'm big into like R&B music as well, like that soul.
I love that.
Like, yeah, like Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and like Aretha Franklin. Like, got into a lot of that music on my own.
That's so cool.
Second song, I would say "A Couple Minutes" by Olivia Dean. That was also someone new. Yeah,
great. That album has been on repeat.
That's like your favorite thing right now.
Honestly, it is. It is one of my like. We're in a time where it's hard to find albums that are no skips.
Yeah,
and that one
was really good.
Yeah,
I think I heard it on Instagram, like in a reel, and I was like, caught my attention right away.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, what's
melody?
Yeah. She's got a great voice too. I thought that was excellent.
Great pick there.
Thank you. We'll go with like for this last one. I'll go with a song that like really influenced the Too Many Times album, which is I have a playlist on my artist profile called Too Many Times Inspo, if you want to check that out. It's got like all songs that inspired the album. But I would go with Isolation by John Lennon. This album in particular, his first solo record, I listen to all the time. I love it. I think it's great. It's probably probably one of my favorite albums right now. But just the like in terms of songwriting formula and production and lyrical content, like hearing that for the first time was like, oh wow, this is legit.
Yeah.
It's very raw, awesome. Very like personal, very in your face, you know. And I took that to heart, and I think that's, I don't know, there's something like very profound about that, seeing an artist, especially like John Lennon, at their like rawest form.
It's really cool when we get opportunities like that, you know, and it's very stripped, very relaxed, and I'm excited. That's a good little lineup right there.
Thank you. But yeah, well, those three right now, I'd say we're like listen to a lot. But I got to check out the other Olivia Dean stuff.
Yeah, you got to jump on that album. You got to jump on that album. Give it.
I listened to the album that it's on. I flipped through it. I noticed there was another one too from a couple years ago.
Yes. Oh, it's the one that has Dive on it. I think it's called Messy.
Oh yeah, Messy.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll keep that. I'll check it out.
Well, thank you so much for coming and gabbing with me. Too Many Times. It's out now, and here we go. Enjoy it.